this.
Holy shit, Kevin!
Wow. What?
You got this only nowhere else but the Kevin is after that. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie.
Now we're not look at this. A carved penguin. There it is. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my god.
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the ball.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish!
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up! We did it!
What can I say? What can I say? What can I say?
That one sucked. You got to win that ball game. You've got to win that ball game. 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position, 10 left on base. You got to win that ball game. I mean, it's literally like there's nothing else to say. You have to win that ball game, especially when you are trying to scratch and claw your way back into some sort of a competitive season. You have to win that game. You're allowed. The only way you're allowed to lose that game is if you wouldn't have blown the game before, and then you sit there and you go, whatever. You win 2 and go on. But no, we sit here. And they lost the series. Come in hot as could be, coming off 2 big wins against Boston to split the series. You go and you take game 1 with Charlie Morton on the mound. You got Sagano and Povich coming up the next 2 games. You're feeling good. You get a lead in both of them. I mean, hell, you're up 3-0 in this game. 17 opportunities with runners in scoring position. It's a bad game. That is a game that you need to win. That is without a doubt a game that you need to win. And it's unacceptable not to. I mean, just talk about opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Like, can you even ask for more 17 opportunities with runners in scoring position? You can't get any in. Or you get three, and you can't get enough in. I mean, Jackson Holiday, 3 for 5, absolute stud. Don't know why Adley Rutschman is batting in the 2 spot now. We have to just give up on that right now. Adley Rutschman should be nowhere near the top of the lineup. The highest he should be batting is 5th, 6th, maybe. Adley should not be in the top half of the lineup. 0 for 5, 3 Ks. Henderson, 0 for 5, 1 K. 0 for 10 from your quote-unquote 2 best players there. Not going to happen. Now, they're not your 2 best this season so far. I would say that's O'Hearn and Holiday. But overall, you expect Gunnar and Adley to be, your 2 core guys. 0 for 10 not going to help. What did they go with? And then they go 0 for 5 combined with runners in scoring position. So half of their at-bats were with runners in scoring position, and they couldn't get a single run in. I mean, that's what's going to lose you ball games. Mountcastle looks great. He's really starting to come. I mean, Ryan Mountcastle is just that classic. When he's hot, he's hot. I mean, the confidence, he's such a mental player where when he's confident, when he's feeling good, there are very few things that can get in Ryan Mountcastle's way. But unfortunately, when he's not going well, we've seen him just deteriorate and his, at bats fly by with uncompetitiveness. So right now it seems things are going well for Mountcastle. You love to see that. Ryan O'Hearn, 1 for 4, also gets the walk. Monarias 1 for 3, also gets a walk. Mullins 2 for 4. Maverick Hanley, another hit, 1 for 3. And then Dylan Carlson, 2 for 4, RBI. Dylan Carlson, man, the dude just keeps getting it done. Happy for him. But, I mean, just such a disappointing game, and one that you have to win that ball game. Against the team, I understand the Cardinals are hot, coming in, winning 16 of 20 games. I guess they're up to 18 of 23 games. That's one of those games that you have to walk away with a victory. 17 chances with runners in scoring position. You got to win that game. I mean, you can't expect to go you sure as hell can't expect to go 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position and win. And it sucks because they had they were up 3-0. They had this game going in their direction. They just had to hold on to it. They just had to not blow it, and they couldn't stay out of their own way. I mean, the 4th and 5th inning, you give up 5 runs there. I mean, they were up 3-0. They scored 3, put a 3 in the 2nd inning. All of a sudden you add on. It just felt like, and then, I mean, it felt great. 3rd or 4th inning, you give up 2 runs immediately. The offense responded and scored 1. It looked like we were showing some fight. The next inning, the homer, and suddenly you're looking at it and you're like, well, shit. And then they can't score after that. Mouse, look, this is a big thing. They really just cannot. And they get they'll have, when they get their big hit, you're right, they can't keep it going. There's never a snowball. There's never the big, quote unquote, big inning with this team. You very rarely, I can't remember the last time they put up a 6-7 spot in an inning. They go out there and they are, they'll get that run in from second, but if they got a guy on second with 1 out and they hit a double, they're not getting that next guy in. They don't add on. They once they're up, 3-0, you would have loved to suddenly over the next 2 innings make that 5-6-0 and just kind of continue to build distance between yourself and the Cardinals, but they were unable to do that. I mean, you keep it 3-0. They slowly continue to creep back in, and then with the homer to take the lead, and then you just kind of – then you look up and it's 5-4 and you're like, well, we're back here. Once they go up 5-4, it's hard for me to sit here and be like, okay, great, we're going to come back. They had felt like they had given more fight. They had seemed like they had been giving more fight, but overall, they had opportunities. That's what's even more. You leave 10 guys on base. The opportunities were there. The chances were there. This is a game they have to win. Plain and simple. It's a game you have to win. 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position. Let's go over the pitching a little bit. Gabe Povich, 4 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. I mean, he looked awesome the first 3 innings. You know, he looked great the first 3 innings. Even that second inning, for him to work out of it, you felt good. But it's the big innings. It's the, the walks killed him. 3 walks. Getting guys on in front of big flies is always going to kill you. It's disappointing for him to kind of end his night like that, because it did start off so well. Like, it started off as one of those, like, hey, Cade can build some confidence here. Okay, Cade's got his strikeout pitch going. I mean, he's mowing them down. He had, 6 strikeouts through 3? You're sitting there and you're like, okay, here we go. Cade's got it going tonight. Let's just ride this wave. Let's get him into the 5th, 6th inning, and then let's go win this ballgame. We're up 3-0. Let's ride. And then suddenly you look up and it's 5-4. And I don't think they're going to call up Basayo yet. I think with the team, with all the pressure on the team right now, plus the fact that he's only caught, I believe, 6 or 7 games this year just due to injury. So they're still trying to work him back in there to catch defensively. And I just don't know if this is the time to kind of throw him to the fire and make him, sink or swim. I would like to see him develop in AAA some more, especially because this season probably is this season's a wash, it looks like. So I'd rather focus more on just making sure he develops the best he can and then go from there. So hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel. It's Kevin and Zach React. Joining me, my co-host, Kevin Ostreicher. Kevin, you got to win that game.
We can say that about a lot of games this year. And this is why I said after the 3-game win streak, like it's awesome to have them playing like that, but they have a long way to go and they have to prove it that this is not just a mirage. And of course, they've just reverted right back to the trends that we had seen all year. So looks more and more like that was a mirage, although you have a pretty big sample size that says the Orioles, this is just who they are this season. So
yeah,
nothing new, unfortunate, but another series you had a real opportunity here. Is
a major opportunity
is what I'll say. And now you're back to 16 under? Is that where they are right now?
Yeah, I believe
15 now. No, they're 17 under again.
Yeah, 17.
Wow. Yeah. And the month of May is over in 3 days after tonight. So just pretty bad game. Pretty bad.
I mean, that was the most easy. You should take 2 of 3. I bet, like, both these past games you should have won.
You had opportunities. And again, it's disappointing because Jackson and Adley are the only 2 in the lineup that didn't have a hit tonight. And I'm not going to count Rivera. Sorry. I'm not counting the pinch hitter. But those were your only 2 starters that did not have hits tonight. They go combined 0 for 10. And when Jackson is in front of them going 3 for 5, it's a tough pill to swallow. The at-bats in some of these instances were just not competitive. Maverick Hanley looked overpowered. Adley looked overpowered. A couple of these other guys looked overpowered. The approach is just not there hitting-wise. And again, the only guy that's really hitting, and Mountie has had some good games here recently. He's in
his classic Ryan Mountcastle gets confident.
Yeah.
And he'll be hot for 2 weeks.
But O'Hearn gets another hit, still the best player in baseball. Seti goes 2 for 4. Carlson continues his hot streak. Like, they're getting contributions from guys. But again, what was the final run? Do you have the runners in scoring?
3 for 17.
3. Yeah, just that's abysmal. Just absolutely abysmal. And I don't want to be this guy, but I am. We talked about how they were hitting better with runners in scoring position. A lot of that had to do because they played an extra inning game against the Brewers, where they came up in the clutch. And credit to them, like they did. But in 9-inning games, they are still not hitting well with runners in scoring position at all. And it's just it's tough. And I feel like there's just that. It might feel weird. It might feel like the opposite. But honestly, to me, it feels like there's less pressure when there's the guy automatically put on second base. It's almost like playing with house money at that point. Like, okay, cool. But it's just it's tough because I really don't want them to trade O'Hearn. And I was fully on the trade O'Hearn train like 2 weeks ago. I was fully on it, but you can't do it. But if they get into a bad enough spot, do they feel like they need to? Because the thing is, if you really feel like you can retool next season, and I hope that's what they try to do, but if you really feel like you can do that, then you need guys like O'Hearn on your team. So
you have to. I mean, he's a guy who it's not even just – I mean, yeah, the on-field production right now is through the roof, but let's also bring up the fact that he's been a leader. He's a guy that every time he talks, it feels like players listen. He carries himself in a certain way. The work he puts in, he is the leader of that clubhouse right now. And I feel like he's the guy that you cannot get rid of. He's kind of like – it feels like one of those things where, yes, maybe business-wise, this is where it's kind of like that analytics thing. Analytics and numbers-wise, yes, it might make sense to be like, okay, he's a 30-year-old, going to regress in a few years, yada, yada, yada. All that stuff the analytics are going to say about a 30-year-old hitter who's, in the midst of his best season. It's the fact that the analytics can't judge the leadership. They can't judge, the kind of heart that Ryan O'Hearn gives this team. So I just don't see that would be such a bad trade. Just, I feel like all around, to be quite honest with you, if you're going to, trade him for a few prospects and just hope that they pan out, I'd rather you go and offer him a deal, because it's going to hurt your team a whole lot more than just on the field, to get rid of him.
And we've seen them. Sometimes you just need to ride it out with certain guys, and especially when you have the ability to compete next season, pending what happens at the trade deadline in the offseason. Obviously, that I think will determine whether they compete or not. But, for guys like Cedric, Eflin, Sagano, etc., those are guys you can consider moving. And honestly, I would probably extend Sagano. I think that he's not going to cost you a ton, and he's played really well for them. I'd probably throw Tomo like a 2-year extension and hope he stays. But it feels like to me, with Bradish coming back, I'm going to say next season. We got an update on him, I know, but I'm just going to say next season. Grayson coming back next season. I really just don't see the risk of throwing those guys out there this year with the way that it's going. But I'm okay with them trading Cedric. And even though that would hurt, like trading Cedric would certainly hurt, but I'm okay with them trading Cedric and Eflin and keeping O'Hearn and Sagano. And I know that's going like 50-50, but the Orioles are truly in a unique spot where you're not trying to trade everybody. You're not trying to do that. You're trying to get value back for guys, but you can't sit there and do nothing.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a difficult spot.
It's an extremely difficult spot that they're in. I mean, this is the worst spot to be in. It's called no man's land. Do you trade? Do you go? It's because the Orioles aren't in a position where, sometimes if you have these veteran guys, and you're having an underperforming season like in 2018, it was a no-brainer. Okay, sell everyone. Sell the guys that you can. Here, it's a lot different because now it's like, okay, you still have a young roster where if they're on the team next year, do you really want to get rid of anyone that has multiple years? I don't think so, because you're still trying to build. But then, with the O'Hearns, the Setis, the Suganos, the Eflins, it's okay, who do we feel we need to keep next year and, focus on extensions rather than, oh, we're a bad team. Hey, all our veterans on expiring deals are available. You still have to keep in mind the next few years and, okay, is it better to give O'Hearn a 2-year, 3-year extension right now instead of waiting for the deadline? Or do we sit there and do they say, screw it, we're going into a mini retool and, they do sell off all those guys. It really is all going to depend on kind of where they view their situation.
Yeah. And their situation right now is, they spent money this offseason, but it was in all the wrong places. It was in all the wrong places. The only guy that you can feel good about is Tomo. And so, it's hard to trust Elias to make those moves and be that guy to steward the trade deadline. And, now you're in a situation where, your season is lost. You're still the laughing stock of the league. People are still talking about you in a negative light, and deservedly so. And they're just it just feels like we're all waiting for the season to end because, they can fight. They can, but they really haven't to this point outside of a couple games. And they look better than they did. They're fighting harder than they did. But, I think once the deadline is over, we'll have a clearer picture of what they plan to do in the offseason. Because if everybody goes, then they're either gearing up to trade prospects for a guy or they just don't feel like this current core can compete. And by core, I don't mean like Gunnar and Jackson. I just mean the guys around them. So, crazy.
Yeah, let's get to a few of these. First, Vados fan, 2 months. Bag is going right back on my head. Dami saying Cody Ashley, that's not looking great right now. They got guys on, didn't get them in. Walter, appreciate you. Say nobody on our team understands you can knock in a run without a hit with a runner on third and 0 or 1 out. It's a home. Yeah, it feels like we're still struggling with that. It just multiple times throughout tonight where a hit, you didn't even need a hit to get runners in. It just felt like another classic tale so far this season, Kevin, or we sound like a broken record. Orioles get guys on, but even when they have guys on third with 1 or no outs, they can't have a productive at bat without it being a hit. We very rarely. I forgot what was it? Maverick Handley, ground ball to get an RBI, perfect. That's what we need. If you can get a guy and they're going to give you it for a ground ball, take it. And then Shante, appreciate you saying, how long do you think it will take before the hitting coaches? Listen, I don't think people are going to like this answer. At this point, I don't know if they do. If they're not competing, and that's what sucks, is if they're not competing, if they throw in the towel, it would be soon. If they're going to do it, I think it would be soon, Kevin. Like, honestly, I think it would be within the next – because if you wait another month, what's the – from a developmental standpoint, I would like it. But I don't know if they're going to sit there and be like, ooh, we're not really competing for anything this year. Why are we going to fire these guys? Whereas I think you should have eyes on the future and being like, hey, who can we get in here to help now? And it's going to roll over.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that they're not going to get fired this season because you're right.
They won't be back because there'll be a new manager.
Yeah. I'm not saying they deserve to have their jobs. They certainly should have been gone along with Hyde, but I just, they're going to clean staff next season. They're going to get somebody else in. That guy's going to assemble his staff. But, it's not like they should still have their jobs. They should not. But you're right. If it's going to happen, it's going to be soon. So
yeah, that's the only way, because I don't think they would wait any long. If it's halfway through the season, that's that. I just don't think they move on. Kyle saying Adley's cook put Mateo at catcher.
They might careful what you wish for. They might try it one day. They might try it.
Walter, appreciate you saying try to extend O'Hearn Sagano now if no deal is done by the deadline. Yeah, I mean, if you think you have no chance that you get them back, then yeah, without a doubt. If you think there's no chance you get them back, then yeah, it's smart to trade them. You know, it makes no sense to not if you truly think you don't have an opportunity. Now, I'll say again, if you think there is that chance, you know, if you are in negotiations with a guy like O'Hearn, I would rather if they're unable to get him, you know, if they don't trade him and they're unable to get him back on a deal, Kevin, but it comes out that they were offering him competitive deals and he just wanted to go elsewhere, like that would suck. But I would be more like, okay, well, at least they kept him because they wanted to keep him long term. If they kept him and then they were like, yeah, the Orioles didn't offer O'Hearn, I'd be like, what the hell are we, you know, then it's like a what are you doing type thing. But if you think there's no chance you keep any of those guys, you trade the ones that you're not going to be able to extend.
Yeah. I mean, again, yep, absolute worst case is if they just let guys leave for nothing. If you're committed to them, re-sign them. If you're not, trade them. I'm done with the first round picks. So,
yeah,
I
agree. And then we have Tommy. Appreciate you saying would trade Adley for Birdsong and Wise Hunt from the Giants. 2 legit upside pitchers, 1 major experience. Samuel coming eventually. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think they're going to trade Adley. And honestly, funny enough, I don't know if the Giants do this deal. To be quite honest with you, because Birdsong by himself is very impressive. I mean, it's going to be interesting what they do with Basayo, to be honest, because I don't know if he's all of a sudden he's going to be just he comes up and he's your catcher. I think they are going to split time. I think they are going to have him at DH and at first. So we'll see what kind of happens there. But I mean, if you could, I just don't see one. I think with Adley's value at this all-time low, like I don't know if it makes sense to trade him right now. If you had Basayo coming up and Adley was, you know, playing like an all-star and you could get the haul for him, then it would be. But his value's at his lowest right now. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, again, this just isn't the time to trade him. I don't think, because like if you think Basayo is the future, and look, I don't blame you if you do. He's going to be an incredible part of this team, I hope. But if you do and you want to move off of Adley, it's kind of like the Kobe Mayo conversation or the Heston conversation. You know, if you want to say sweet dreams to those guys and move them out of Baltimore, you probably don't want to do it when you're not going to get a ton back. And look, maybe for a guy like Kobe Mayo, the value is just so low. Is it going to get back up without opportunities? But for a guy like Adley, if you're truly going to move off of him, I'd want to do it when he has more value than what he has right now. So I agree. Yeah.
And then Kyle. Adley, I completely agree. He should be batting like 6th, 7th. The way he's hitting, he shouldn't be the top of the lineup. Ken, I'm going to put the link in for call-in so we can get to call-in.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I don't know if anybody's in the Discord saw the new rules that Ryan put in there, the new guidelines. And since we are a part of the Ryan Ripken media empire, of course, we adhere to all Ryan Ripken show rules. So, you know, just wanted to pass some of those along. You know, we're here in call-ins and in the chat to talk about baseball, talk about the Orioles, and it doesn't always have
Discord drama away.
But, you know, we're not here to talk about drama. We're not here to be a sounding board or a place to rant about your drama. Do that separately. To be quite honest, Zach, and I just don't care about it. So, you know, we really enjoy call-ins. We really like that aspect of it and talking to people about the Orioles and about fun stuff and everything. But, you know, Ryan put those rules in the Discord, and, you know, we'll adhere to those here on this show as well, since we're a part of the media empire, part of the empire. So keep your drama away. We just don't want to hear it. So, all right.
And then real fast, Carlos Beltran from Andrew. I forgot first. Appreciate. Do you remember Carlos Beltran was the manager for how long of the? Wasn't he for like 3 days?
It was might have been less than that.
Like, because he was then immediately. Yeah, he was He was fired less than 3 months after being named the Mets manager. I completely forgot about that.
God, what a run. What a run.
And then Gunnar Henderson's dear Stan. Appreciate you. Yeah,
It's true.
that's for sure.
He definitely has.
That's for
So.
sure. So let's move into our first call. We got AJ.
What's up,
Discord drama. What's
AJ?
Discord drama? I have no idea what you're talking about. No, but another just disappointing one for the Orioles. What was the final? 3 for 17 runners in scoring position?
Oh, yeah.
And O'Hearn coming up with a chance to walk it off and immediately grounding out on a meatball on probably one of the more hittable pitches you're going to get out of a closer was just kind of the perfect way to end an Orioles game like that.
Yeah. You know, when your stars go over 10 like that and you have a guy in front of them going 3 for 5, it's just it wastes so many opportunities. And like, I feel bad for Jackson, man, just getting on base and barely being able to score runs. Like,
Lead off demon, but like nobody's hitting behind him.
yeah, they need to move Adley down. Like,
They do.
O'Hearn
And
should
you
be back
like
too.
a huge Adley defender, but what is he doing in the 2-hole?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he should be 5 at least, in my opinion. Like,
If that,
Jackson, Gunnar, O'Hearn, or you want to keep
It should
O'Hearn
be-
clean up, you can throw someone
they
else
don't.
there.
Here's
Like,
the thing, and I get it. They don't want to do the whole. Oh, you don't want to stack 3 lefties. We're not winning anything right now. Stack 3 lefties at the top. Who cares? Like, get your best players and the opportunities to hit. Right
But
now.
O'Hearn in too, because he's hitting lefties just fine this season. Like if you don't want to have, I get not wanting like 3 lefties that can't hit lefties in a row, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, O'Hearn's hitting over 300 on lefties, isn't he?
Yeah,
I thought he was hitting
mean,
333
O'Hearn's
or like
hitting
around that
on
before
the-
tonight. So
Yeah, but just another brutal loss. Another game we should have won. That's what's killing it is that, you know, it was one thing when we were, and that was its own kind of depressing when we were just getting blown out and no shot of winning. But I mean, we had a 3-0 lead, and we couldn't.
I
couldn't
will
do
give it to them. We kept complaining that they were just non-competitive, and they're like, "We can go back to heartbreak." They were like, "We can go back to making you feel like we have a chance if you want it." And we
When's Ravens heartbreak gonna start? Can we? I need to at least wait till like the second round of the playoffs to get my heart broken like this.
yeah, you know the answer. It's in January. That's when you know when that is.
Jesus. But another brutal. I love Povich. He should be in the minors, but because we didn't sign any pitching, he's forced into the majors, and we lose games like this because of poor pitching.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to take up any more time. But just another frustrating loss. White Sox are coming in,
yeah.
and it's just
what could go wrong?
battle of the bums right there.
Yeah, you know, we'll always have May 26th / May 27th, the day AJ called in after a win. It's a day that will go down in history.
It'll go down in history because it will never happen again.
Oh man, that'd be rough.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Awesome. AJ, appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
Talk to you
Awesome.
later.
Have a good one, AJ.
Peace, AJ.
Awesome. Next up, we got our guy Steve. Steve,
what's going on?
I missed the game because I was at work, and apparently it was the same old lame Orioles again tonight.
yeah, you didn't miss much. Didn't miss much.
Tough. It's tough all around. Tough all around.
And now, an off day tomorrow, and then you've got the lowly White Sox in town.
If they don't sweep the White Sox, I mean,
Kevin, let's start with
It's
winning the
over.
I'm yeah. I'm just saying.
But
I mean,
I'm not a sports fan,
and I'll tell you right now,
but I've seen the impossible happen. I've seen it.
Cade Povich, he's had his moments this year. He really has had his moments this year. Tonight was just a case of Orioles gave him a lead early, couldn't hold it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And you had opportunities to extend it even.
And who are the probables for Baltimore this weekend? I know Eflin's one.
Yes, Rakabako put. I know it's Eflin. I know it's Kramer. I believe. And then would it be Morton?
It's Morton on the website. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. Let's see. Do we have
Eflin, Kramer, and Morton are the three. It says on the website.
Who do you really
Eflin, Kramer, Morton.
Yeah.
like?
I'll be honest. 2 out of 3 is the goal.
Right direction.
A sweep would. I don't know what to say. But on
sweep
just
cool. Sweep would be cool.
On another downer note, Tides were postponed again tonight.
I know they don't want Westboro Cowser to play.
I don't know how I forgot.
They're playing 2 tomorrow, and this guy's going to be there for both games. Single admission.
Let's go, Steve. Let's go, Steve.
Here we go.
Love it.
Because I saw the lineup that was posted for the Tides for the game tonight before it's postponed, and it was Cowser 1, Westy 2, Mayo 3, I believe.
Yeah, there's a lineup for you. That'll be fun to watch.
So what implications
there?
That will,
Yeah,
have on?
but this team
It's
frustrates the hell out of me.
no.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been a frustrating
At
season.
this point, I can
Frustrating season.
But
what's
on
going
that
on?
note, I am headed to bed.
All
I have
right.
three of the next 4 days off, including Sunday.
Yes, choose now. Fuck off.
Love it.
Choose now.
Love it.
That was.
By the way, Sunday, believe it or not, will be my 40th birthday.
Oh yeah! Happy
Yes,
early
it's the
birthday!
4th.
Happy early birthday!
So
Have a time, Steve.
Awesome.
Appreciate you. Hopefully, we'll talk before then.
and I'll post pictures in the Discord.
Let's go.
Awesome.
Love it. Love it.
Appreciate
love it.
you,
Awesome,
Steve.
Appreciate you calling him.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Kevin, you know how my bet today on the show was Aaron Judge 2+ bases?
Did he get it?
No, the Angels have intentionally walked him. They intentionally walked him in the first inning and the third. Every time he comes up, they're telling him to take first. Like it's literally, I'm just saying, not even from the betting standpoint, but like we are literally in like a Barry Bonds-esque. These guys, they're just straight
Well, that
up.
counts, right? That's one base, isn't it? Or does it only hits?
No, it only hits.
All right. Well, I don't bet, so I don't know this stuff.
Jeez, Kevin.
Oh,
You're betting. Awesome. Let's head on to our next call. We got Arkansas Joe.
let's go.
Joe, how we feeling?
Yo, what's going on, man?
We're feeling good, fellas. Feeling good. The Hot Springs Wise Guys start their Arena Football League season this Saturday. So
Are they supposed to be good or what?
it's better than any baseball team I'm watching right now. So
You make a good point.
it's a new football league.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the inaugural league.
I know. I was like, I don't like the power rankings or anything. Like, I don't know who's.
It's an
supposed to be
inaugural
good or
league,
not.
Kevin.
Well, yeah, but you can tell based off rosters, probably, right? Like,
They're doing a meet and greet down at the water park. I think the first game's Sunday, and they're doing a meet and greet with all the players on Saturday at the theme park. They play their games at Bank OZ Arena in Hot Springs, sponsored by the casino. So there's no shadiness in that at all.
no shadiness.
There's
no shadiness.
Nothing shady about the sports book sponsoring the Wise Guys. Nothing shady there at all.
I remember during the NBA draft, they had Shams, who was working for FanDuel at the time, tipping the picks, and he had put out early in the day that Scoot Henderson was going to go number 2, and so everyone was like, "Oh, he knows what he's talking about," and so everybody went on the sports books and started to bet that, and then it actually wasn't that. But it was actually Brandon Miller who went number 2 overall, and everyone got so mad. So no shadiness, Joe. No shadiness. You know how it goes.
No shadiness. Now, we're excited for Friday. Regionals, 3:00. It's gonna be fun.
Let's go.
Let's hope we take the first two and don't have to play the third game. I certainly don't want to lose two. That's happened before too.
Yeah,
It
not.
absolutely sucks to watch two teams play to go to a super regional on your home field when you're already eliminated. So that's
Can't have it happen.
I don't want to have that happen.
No.
On a serious note, though, Rick's mom passed away today, and
Yeah.
God bless him and his family, and thoughts and prayers to our guy Rick.
Yeah.
I know he'd been going through it for a while with his mom, and she had been fighting. So
yeah. Rick's in our thoughts and prayers, and we feel terribly. So it's a tough day for all of us here, because we know that Rick's a valuable member of our community, Ryan Ripken Show community, and we're thinking of him and his family. So
indeed.
Absolutely. Well, Joe, we appreciate you over here. Appreciate you calling in and keeping your streak going. You still have not. I don't think there's been a mulligan all year, has there? Maybe
No,
one.
Man,
maybe one.
I gotta come up with a new bit though. I gotta do something fun. Gotta figure it out.
All right. Well, come get back to us on it. We're excited to hear it.
It had its run. It was fun.
Yeah.
But we'll come up with
now.
something new.
Now we'll look. We'll get you on a new one. So when you have it, let us know.
Oh, I'll have something by Friday. Don't worry.
Okay, with the boom. There we go. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Joe. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Later.
Catch you next time.
Peace.
Oh, awesome. Then we got Steve. Appreciate you. 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you, Steve.
I think Pocket Watch.
Yeah, and Pocket Watch, new member.
Pocket Watch.
Appreciate you, Pocket Watch.
Did we miss any others? No, we didn't. Okay, great.
No, I think we're good. Let's head on to our next. We got Gordon. Gordon, what's up?
Gordon after a loss.
Yeah, and no more calling in after a win, because the last couple of times, that yesterday and today, that was not okay whatsoever. That was not okay.
You just blow golden opportunities. You have to fight to get back into the season. You need wins like this badly, and it ends up going the other way and just hurts you more. So it's tough.
Oh man, that was heartbreaking. Having hope. You like, oh man, yesterday we blew a lead, and you're just thinking like, man, is it going to happen again today? And it most definitely happened again today. But you said no more drama. Let me think about what some drama I can talk about on here and bring in here.
All right, Gordon. It's been nice having you on.
Just like, no. Hey, look, I don't even know what you're talking about. I just heard you say that. And I'm like, I need to join the Discord. I need to join. Probably not.
The only reason, Ryan, we're a part of the Empire here, so the rules that Ryan puts in, we go by over here on this show as well. So I just wanted to make it known that it was just stuff about being respectful and no personal attacks, like stuff along those lines.
Oh yeah, I understand, and this kind of has to be said too, obviously in lines of that. I know we are on here and having fun and enjoy, but this is still a business, and this is your guys' careers at the end of the day. Like this is what you sit here and hopefully, and obviously you do get paid to do this, and don't want anybody, or not saying me, but other people ruining your guys' livelihood. So it's just but on a good note, OTAs would have been your thoughts about that? Everybody showing up at OTAs.
Yeah, it was a good. I actually talked with Q Kaiser Ismail about he was there today, so we talked, and I'll come out tomorrow. But he had a lot of good things to say about Tez Walker. He thought LaJohntay Wester looked really good. And, Lamar was one of the stars of the show. So I think it's really cool that the guys are showing up. It's not everybody, but I'm not going to sit on here. And I said this on my show too. It's not, it's voluntary for a reason. If guys don't want to show up, they don't have to show up.
Yeah.
Once mandatory minicamp comes, then you have to have a different conversation, right? That's different. But,
and just because people don't show up doesn't mean that they're not doing anything or they're just hanging out. Like other people have their own workouts, other lives, and so. But it was exciting. It felt good having some type of excitement here in Baltimore sports with these lowly Orioles right now. They're just Like, do you think with the reason why it took so long to fire Brandon Hyde, do you feel like internally they were taking, like turns like interviewing guys who they thought were right for the position? And if so, do you feel like that's kind of what's happening with these hitting coaches? Because something has to give. It's not like we're looking at the scoreboard and seeing that we have like 2 hits. We have like 10 hits, it looks like, every single night. It seems like we're out there having 8 hits, 9 hits on the scoreboard, on the line card or whatever. It's like we're having a lot of hits, but it's like it's not meaningful hits. We're just getting guys on and like getting 2 guys on in the first inning, 3 guys on in the third inning and not scoring. Maybe a lowly home run here, and then it's like what we're doing is not producing. Do you feel like we're actually going to, like the guys are, I guess, interviewing other people internally or externally to make sure the guys are right for this job, or do you just feel like it's a wash for this season?
I mean, philosophy wise, you're right. Like they're getting a lot of hits, but I just think they're not, the approach that they're having right now with guys on base. It feels like sometimes it's home run or bust. They're not getting productive outs. And like we've seen flashes of that. Like there are flashes of them doing it, but I just don't think it doesn't come around enough. So in terms of them moving on from the hitting coaches, like I thought that should have been done with Hyde. It was not. So at this point, like if the season's a wash, I mean, I know, and some people have kind of mentioned it, that, if you want to bring in your full-time manager, if he's not already, on a team right now, if you want to do that in the middle of the year and try to get acclimated with stuff, then you can think about bringing on a whole new staff. And that transition is difficult, but, if you're just kind of sitting there floundering and it can just get worse, then I don't know what you do, but it just seems like the approach has been bad all year. And again, who could have predicted bringing a guy in from Seattle with the way they hit last year was going to go this way?
Oh my gosh!
And spoiler, everybody.
Oh my god! How do you see a guy who just is a hitting coach for a team? They're just crapping the bid, and then as soon as he gets fired, then that's when they start hitting again. Like that wasn't a sign to you then that happened in Seattle and said, hey, that's our, I don't know. That kind of is what's been going on with the Orioles. They saw Craig Kimbrell last year and was like, you know what? He's getting old. That's our closer even though Felix Bautista, that's our closer. He's getting old. Same thing with Charlie Morton, a guy on the back end. That's our guy. We're going to send him 15 mil. We're going to get some hitting coaches that, their track record, yes, he has a good name, Cody Ashley or whatever, but I mean, terrible. It's like, what is up with this organization and the people that we decide to hire and spend money on? It's just like,
it's frustrating. It feels like it's even like the whole argument of like, yeah, they spent more money this offseason. Yeah, they did, but it wasn't what they should have spent it on.
No,
yeah, they spent $22 million this season on Morton and Gibson combined. That could have been a nice pitcher, for $22 million instead of those two.
And not even just a 1-year deal. 22 mil, that could get you at least like 3 years if somebody like a decent pitcher for maybe 2 years, but like a 1-year deal for like 2 guys that's hopefully not even going to be on this team by whenever, it seems like. But I don't know. Last thing I'm going to say before I go is we do not need to let Cedric go. We do not need to let Cedric go. Have you not? Who are we going to have play center? Honestly, if we let Cedric go, who are we going to have play center? Like, is there anybody that we can? No,
I would assume it'd be some. I feel like it'd be Kelly.
Yeah, I don't think there's a clear next guy to take over center right now, and I think it's also just his off the field. I think he's a guy who knows how to grind through a season. He knows how to go with the ups and downs. So many guys right now, the young guys struggling. It's mental. It's that they haven't seen this, type of, struggle, and adversity in their careers. So now they're facing it for the first time, and a lot of them are failing to, bounce back from it. Whereas a guy like Cedric, he's, and O'Hearn, they've both been there, done that, and now they're succeeding.
It doesn't even matter what his bat is. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what his at bat does. His defense is so elite. I don't care if this man goes 0 for 30. but he's always going to be out there making plays. He's going to, even if he's not putting up runs, he's most definitely saving runs. And he is a phenomenal person on and off the field. He brings so much more than just what this team is. Like, I just feel like this team cannot afford to let him go. If we can keep him, we need to keep him. It has to be something that's going to blow your socks off with Cedric, the way that he plays defense. And like, I don't know. I just can't see anybody else out there making the crazy, ridiculous plays on an everyday basis, being up there, knowing what you're going to expect from him on the defensive side. He's a stand-up guy. He brings so much more than just, baseball to this team. And I just feel like you can't, you can't get rid of that. That's just something that you just really cannot get rid of. He is the Orioles at this point. It seems like he is the longest tenure Oriole, right? Like I just feel like we can't get rid of him. Like if we have somebody, either we get somebody, I don't really know who's out there that we can get either trade for or, free agency next season. But I don't know. I feel like Seti is the guy for the Orioles. And especially what happened with Santander, letting him go. That just would not seem like the right move to let Seti go.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I think it's everything you said. It's not just on the field. It's what he brings off the field. It's his veteran presence. And then it says, if he hits, if he's only hitting 200, his defense, the plays he makes in center field, I mean, just having him back there, how many times he saved guys, it does make a difference. So I agree. He's a guy where if you can offer him 2-3 years and get him to re-sign, I think he's a guy. Him and O'Hearn are the two that I'm looking at. Is like, they do more than just play. Their presence is far more than just the stats and numbers on the field.
Yeah, I just hope this team doesn't go in full rebuild mode with this year, because that would be the worst. But yeah.
Yeah, not necessary to do all that. I think that they can retool. It's just a matter of who are the guys they're going to retool with outside of their core. So that's the biggest question. But Gordon, appreciate you calling in, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Enjoy the rest of your night. And man, hopefully we're talking after a win soon.
Yes. Oh, for the Discord, is that in the?
I'll put a link to it. All
right, cool.
Awesome, Gordon.
I'll get that in the chat for you.
You be safe. Have a good one, my friend.
Appreciate you, Gordon.
You guys be safe.
Awesome. Appreciate Gordon. Then also got to get to a few of these. Laura saying, just replay my appearance from last week. Same old, same old. Ed, really appreciate you saying just a simple thanks for doing this after every game. It always makes me feel better. This is what we enjoy doing. And then Steve, love you guys and everything you do. Steve, appreciate you. Love you. Always glad when you hop on. Love talking with you. Awesome. Yeah, let's head into our next and potentially final call-in. We got Jake behind the scenes. So, Jake, what's up, my man?
What's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, doing good, man. How are you?
I'm quite well. Calling from North Carolina, so a little far away. I'm not as far south as old boy from Arkansas, but I'm a little out of the region.
Yeah. So. I went to Elon, so I don't know where you are in North Carolina, but that Raleigh
nice
area. So
yeah, we're over in the Fort Bragg area. So
all right, gotcha, man. Well, what's on your mind, Jake? How you doing?
I'm good, man. No, just tough loss. I mean, I respectfully disagree with I think was it Gordon. I'm learning everybody now since I'm new to this. But I mean, Cedric, I love Cedric. I think his fielding is great. He's up and down. He understands the season and the ups and downs of a season. But like even today, I went online and I'm sure my phone was listening to me talk to somebody else about the Orioles. And it was like it was how they hyperimpose players with potential jerseys, and his was the first one, and it was him in like I want to say it was a San Diego Padres jersey. Kind of like what could the Orioles get for Seti from them? I haven't even looked in their farm system, so I have no idea what. I mean, hopefully pitching, but teams like that are really looking for a fielder, a center fielder like that. But and also, I mean, we also have Enrique Bradfield Jr., who's been doing quite well in the minors. I know he was hurt for a minute. He showed out during the what is it, the that kind of that rookie game we did with the Yankees at the end of spring training. He really showed out in that game. He's got 80 grade speed and glove. I don't know about the arm and the hitting. He's not gonna hit home runs. I think he's got like one this year and like none last year. But he's like that kid who's playing for the, I want to say it's the Rays that everybody was talking about. Was like, just get that ball in play and just show up and show off. Like hit it. Even he ran one out when he hit a second baseman and got it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the stuff that we need. We need guys on and hit guys in. And like, look, Jackson Holiday has been really impressing me recently. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously, I mean, he's every. Like, I was in the gym tonight. Every time I looked down at my phone, it was like double, and I was like, this kid's. It was like he did it for coconut or something like he did it for coconut. And I was like, that's my man. Like he's figuring it out. The kid's a natural hitter. He'll have his fair number of home runs, but nothing crazy. But as long as he's playing, like I think he's like 1 or 2 in so many like hitting categories for second baseman in the American League. So he is proving himself quite worthy. It's just, hopefully, like I don't know, Gunnar looks incredibly frustrated. I mean, he also kind of is like one of them Southern boys. It just shows like I'm not worried about the Yankees trying to steal him from us. I'm worried about the Braves. Like that kid's got Atlanta written all over his face and his accent. And I think he said that he was like, because they were on TBS when he was growing up. And I was like, yeah, no shit. Like, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, but yeah, hopefully he could just kind of pull it together. But I'm curious, I don't know if y'all talked about it tonight because I didn't catch the beginning of the show, but they were one of the things interesting. What's that old guy on MLB Network was posting on BR today on Twitter about, I guess, Rubenstein. Maybe it was during that one lunch in spring training with him and Adley. Like, hey, look, here it is. Here's what I'm thinking right now. And of course, he's going to say no because Boris is going to be like, no, I'm not doing anything pre-arb.
Right.
And I don't know. I'm curious. He's not going to be doing 10 WAR this year. So
no, I think Gunnar. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think they want to sign Gunnar long term. I think Gunnar's the one who's going. He's the one who's going to be like, I can wait 2-3 years, and my price, if I keep playing like this, is going to skyrocket. So I don't always disagree with him taking a chance because. At the way, I mean, some of these guys have taken chances. I mean, Juan Soto turned down a $400+ million deal at like 22 years old, and then he got $800 million. So, like, as stupid as I can be, like, hey, if he offered you $300 million, how can you not take that? We've seen guys work out. Now you've seen guys do that and it did the opposite, and they lose a lot of money. But
yeah, I mean, I have tons of respect for the as a Jackson Merrill, the center fielder for the Padres, and he was just like, look, man, I love it here. Of course, it's San Diego. Why not? Yeah. I love it here. Like my family's happy with everything, and I literally just got 130 or whatever it was with elevators and whatnot. Yeah. Like I'm gonna show up and show out, and yeah, and now it's done. Whereas I get Soto bet on himself, and he won. But I feel like he's just like he's like a mercenary in my opinion. Like that dude's a mercenary. Like he's about the money. He's a good hitter. He can't feel for crap. I'm sure he's got a good arm, but I mean, I'm sure he's not a terrible person, but you know what he wants. You know what he wants.
He wanted to go where the most money was,
and he got it. So good for him. I'm the guy on Twitter who's just Scott Boras is gonna like have me in handcuffs. Like I just try and go after that guy whenever I can. Like I cannot stand that dude.
Right. Boras has caused a lot of issues over the years of these contracts. So
I mean, to me, big picture, like I think he's going to be one of the reasons. I'm not really a pessimist, but I see him being one of the reasons if 2027 does not happen. I am looking right at him. Like he's got so much pull. He's got like a lot of his clients are on that the player side, like the guys who like have the say, if you will. A lot, like I think 3 out of the 7 or whatever it was, but a good percentage of them were Boris clients. And so like for him to be like, I'm not pulling any strings. It's like, no, I think you got your words mean things, my brother. So
Yeah, he's influential, but sometimes not in the best ways. So
No, not
Yeah.
if you're a small market team.
no.
Yeah, well,
Mm-mm.
I've called into MLB radio a couple of times and told them what I think about that because I heard the ESPN guy for a long time sit there and say he tried to argue when they were whenever that would come up, and it does every so often with the cap and the floor and stuff. And he brings up, and I bring up the idea. I'm like, hey, I root for the Green Bay Packers because the Ravens weren't here when I was growing up,
Yeah.
and so I'm from the Eastern Shore of Virginia side, so we got nothing over there except for boats and like crabs. So it's like, wait, I pull for the Packers. I've been to Lambeau one time in my life, and I was like, where in the hell am I? There is
Oh, yeah.
nothing there except for that stadium. And that guy from ESPN, he was like, no, I think that they could have a Major League Baseball team there. I was like, no, dude, there's no way they could support 81 games in that area. Like, I'm digressing a little bit, but that it's just like how I think about things. There should not be because this is sports. I love having teams that are. I think everybody should be somewhat equal starting. And if you can't run your organization, you can't run your organization. You can be the New York Giants, be the New York Football Giants, or be awesome and be like the Ravens. I know that y'all were talking about earlier where they were like kind of heartbreaking y'all, but like I will root for the Ravens for people in Baltimore, but it's just like I mean they are heartbreaking, but it's just like they're so well run. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm rolling with it, but yeah, I appreciate y'all picking me up tonight.
Yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
I can call more often. But
yeah, would love it. Love you to call in more, man. We'd love to see you around here more. So appreciate you
Right
calling
on.
in, Jake, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
All right, brother.
Awesome.
Y'all be easy.
All right, peace out, Jake. Man, awesome. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, that is the cap. You know, that's going to be such an interesting. You know, if they do end up locking out in 27, it's going to be the big. I'm intrigued to see what happens there. It's going to be interesting.
When Jake said that, I was like, "Oh, that's in 4 years, right?" And then I'm like, "Wait, it's a year and a half from now." I'm like, "Where are the ties at 2023 right now?" Like, aren't the Orioles winning 101 games this season?
I wish. God. Anything else, Kevin?
Nah, man. I think that's it. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you got anything.
No, I don't. Yeah, so I guess that's gonna do it for this edition of Kevin Zach React. Orioles lose 6-4 in a game they should have won. Off tomorrow, but we will be back Friday as the Orioles start a 3-game set against the Chicago White Sox. Just win. But we'll be back after that. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the channel, if you enjoy the content. We'll be back on Friday for another edition of Kevin and Zach React. Pat Valaika.
Oh, good one. Taryn Vavra.
Hold on, Kevin.
Shout out to the DFA King.